We're on the road to Shannon Lake this morning. Lake's over on our right. Looking pretty cool. Beautiful scenery up here. Hey everyone, I'm always up for an adventure and we've got one for you today. I'm coming to you from Shannon Lake. We are just south of Baker Lake and I'm with Randy Costello and Hannah Pennybaker. Randy, I've never fished this lake before. Everyone goes to Baker Lake, so this is going to be interesting.
So as far as kokanee goes, Lake Shannon is a better fishery than Baker Lake. When they built the lower Baker Dam, there were a lot of fish that were trapped up in the lake and it becomes a natural production. And it's kind of a unique breed of kokanee. They're sort of a mix between a kokanee or sockeye and silver salmon. If we catch kokanee today, they'll actually be kind of spotted. They'll a little bit of a unique strain of fish.
Well, we're going to get this boat in the water. Stay tuned. You're watching Northwest Fishing Reports. As you can see, it's a rough boat launch, especially with the water out, but it wasn't too difficult. Definitely want four-wheel drive, I think, when you put it back in, unless you've got a light boat. I'm excited to go fishing, and it looks like Duke is too.
The same process of doing it big.
Wow, look at all those fish on the finder.
It looks like the lake's at 50 degrees today. I'm not sure what it looks like under the surface, so that's probably a little bit of a surface layer temperature, but we'll see what happens.
Those fish.
Randy's got us where he wants us here at the end of the lake, and we're getting the gear down. The plan, initially, our plan is 2 leaded long lines, 2 planer boards, 2 downriggers. Shannon Lake is a 2-pole lake, so we've got 3 anglers. We're going to be fishing 6 rods to start. It's standard limits for kokanee and trout, and bull trout, got to put them back. Randy, you were telling us when we were launching, they have sockeye in this lake every year, don't they?
They're using the lake to rear sockeye smolt. I don't know if they're going to release adult sockeye in the lake. Similar to what they're doing with the Baker Lake program, they're collecting smolt that have reared in the lake for about a year to release down at the trap in Concrete.
The sockeye collection for Baker Lake is actually below Lake Shannon, isn't it?
Yeah, the adult or the returning sockeye collection is the trap in just in the town of Concrete, basically.
Fish on. This feels like a good fish. First fish of the day on the planer board.
Probably unplug the...
Well, the size limit for kokanee on this lake is 8 inches. So we have to make sure if it's a kokanee to keep it, it's bigger than 8 inches.
Stand behind me.
big fish would have released the clip on this planer board. So we know it's probably not a dolly, probably not a larger fish, probably a kokanee. Still on. Oh, here he comes. He's fighting. Looks like a kokanee to me.
Nice.
You want me to hoist him?
Nice.
Okay, first fish in the boat. So let's measure this fish. Has to be bigger than 8 inches to keep. "10 inches. He's a keeper. Beautiful Lake Shannon kokanee. Bigger than 8 inches, so he's perfectly legal to keep. So we're gonna keep this guy and smoke him up. Fish on. Fish number 2 on the planer board. This one's a jumper. We think it might be a cutthroat. Again, this one didn't quite pop the planer board off the clip, so it might not be a huge fish, but it's a fish.
Let's lift it up a little.
The planer board dance.
I feel it wiggling. Got the wiggles.
Oh, he's still there. He's fighting. Got about 13 feet to go on the line counter. Here he comes. Is that a kokanee? I don't know what that is.
That's a fish in the net.
It's a good fish. Is that a cutthroat dolly?
It's a rainbow. What a funky looking fish that is.
Fish on. I just switched up. Oh, it came off. I just switched up, added a wiggle fin, and got some immediate action. So back down it goes.
What we're going to do is from the main lake, it kind of narrows down and goes through a channel up into a fairly shallow upper lake. Actually very shallow with the lake level where it is. We're just going to go up there, kind of look around, maybe get some film footage for you guys. Should be interesting. We're looking for stumps.
Fish on the planer board out here on beautiful Shannon Lake. What a great place to go fishing. I love those clear boards. Oh, this is not my day for catching fish. Keep losing them. All right, some days are like that. Get this baited up and we'll give it another go. You got him. Fish on.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fish on.
35 feet on the downrigger.
The fish whisperer. Whisperer. Don't make me say that 3 times.
Here he comes. I think it's a cutthroat.
Nice one.
All right.
Beak slept through the whole.
Nice cutthroat trout. Let's see, that was on... So both of our first fish were on wiggle hoochies. This one was caught on
A wiggle fin.
wiggle fin and hoochie, so... A nice,
The wiggle.
very nice cutthroat.
I have a fish. All right, fish on the downrigger. And so far he's not falling off. Twice. Bonus, I got Randy in the head.
It's such
Okay.
a beautiful fish.
That's another cut.
Skinny, but beautiful.
Skinny, yeah. They're beautiful fish up here. Definitely, I would consider these alpine lake fish. You know, even though we're 400 feet elevation on this lake. By the way, Lake Shannon is about 2,000 acres in size, so plenty of room to stretch out. It's not really overly fished with a lot of people here on the weekend. There you go, another wiggle fin. Got this guy. All right, fish on.
It's actually a meter mark too.
Hey, Randy, you want to just pop it and let it slide. There we go, and he's off. All right. So one of the issues when you're running planer boards, and I think I understand what's going on, when you pop that planer board, it's really important to keep the rod tip down and reel, because there's a moment there where you've got some slack line. That's on me. I should know better. Gonna have to hand this rod off next time to someone that can catch fish. But that's a little tip. Slack line is your enemy. Randy, I noticed that there are mooring buoys over on this part of the lake here, and you were telling us that there is a jigging fishery here for kokanee.
So yeah, it's a long established fishery on the lake, and in fact, when I was younger, I mean that's all anybody did was you chum for the kokanee and fish it like a little potski egg or an egg hook and a dropper loop kind of arrangement. So what you're seeing over here is I don't know if people are writing their names on the buoys or how much ownership there is. I wouldn't suggest tying off on somebody else's buoy.
Right.
But if you wanted to go in there and anchor or use your spot lock, and you chum, you know, a chum mixture of like smashed up salmon eggs, oatmeal or chicken feed, chicken scratch, maybe some sand, and just a spoonful of that over the side of the boat every now and then. And you can either jig, like with 1 ounce, like Point Wilson dart type lures, and you could rig it as a drop shot or with the hook itself, or a lot of people just maybe a ½ ounce, like a teardrop sinker, and a dropper loop with a salmon egg.
Sure.
And you know, it's not a hard jig like you'd think if you were fishing for lingcod or something.
Yeah.
It's just very subtly.
Just
You just want pressure, and then you reel against the pressure. It's actually a fun fishery, and I'm glad to see that we've got a bunch of buoys out here now, because it kind of means that fishery's coming back.
I might have to come back and do that sometime. 2 things of note here on Lake Shannon. First off, chumming obviously is permitted. And the second is the kokanee need to be over 8 inches. And
Yes.
Tell the viewers why that is.
What they want to make sure is in establishing an 8-inch limit is that you're not catching sockeye smolt,
Sure.
that you're catching actual kokanee, which are naturally produced in this system.
Lake Shannon, early spring, we're having a bit of a tough time getting into the fish. But as this lake warms up, it
Yeah.
becomes a better and better kokanee fishery. So come on out here and give it a try. The scenery is just spectacular. I want to thank Randy and Hannah for joining me today. We'll see you guys on the water and online.